Fiona Bruce.
My views on marriage stem from my Christian faith, and I want to thank honourable members for the respect that I have always felt in this place for my faith-based views. I also thank the many constituents who have written to me, of faith and no faith, urging me to vote against this bill. Some 95% of those who have written to me have done so. In doing so today, therefore, I am confident that my conscience and, in the absence of any other mandate, my constituency representation will coincide. I believe that marriage is a life commitment between a man and a woman, for their benefit, for the benefit of their children that they may have, and for the stability of wider society, and that no government should redefine it, nor can any government do so in a workable way, as this bill shows. Let me explain. The government says that no church minister will be forced to hold a same-sex marriage. But what of the many people of sincere faith, lay people who believe that marriage as between a man and a woman is not something that they wish to support? Will their legal rights be affected? What of the Christian couple who own a heritage hotel registered for civil weddings and who wish to continue holding opposite-sex weddings but not same-sex weddings? They will, I understand, have no legal defence whatsoever against being sued in the courts under the Equality Act for discrimination in the provision of goods and services, and many other businesses will be similarly affected. It is simply not correct to say that this legislation will have no detrimental effect on religious or other freedoms. What of the... I shall give way.
I thank the honourable member for giving way. In coming to this point about an attack on religious freedoms, is she aware that the situation in Denmark after they changed the laws has now subjected churches there being forced to conduct same-sex marriages shortly after guarantees were given to them that they would not be forced to conduct such relations?
I hear that with interest and hope to comment on that later. But what of the church youth leader, or the parachurch organisation, or the faith-based charity which put on marriage preparation classes? Will they be required to accept same-sex couples? Or will they have to close their class or their organisation? Or will litigation ensue with all its attendant stress and costs, whatever the outcome? Or will they face the loss of their charitable status, or a withdrawal of any local authority grant or facilities because they don't have an acceptable equality and diversity policy? Can anyone guarantee that this will not happen as a result of this legislation? Or will they decide to stay silent and have that precious right of free speech compromised as a result of this legislation too? And what of the legal distinction between the public servant role of the employed registrar, like Lillian Liddell, in a local registry office, and the public function carried out by voluntary registrars appointed by local churches, a part of their membership across the country? Will not those voluntary registrars, those lay people, will they really be able to successfully defend discrimination actions in the court if brought against them, especially if they go to Europe, if they refuse to officiate at same-sex weddings? Without the principle of reasonable accommodation being part of our legislation, which it is not in this country, although it is in other countries with respect to matters of faith, and it is in this country with respect to matters of disability, will not the Lillian Liddell precedent return again when such cases are sent to Europe? She was unable to call in her aid the ECHR articles on freedom of thought, conscience or religion when she lost her case and her job. Why should people of good conscience risk ending up in the same position? I shall.
I'm very grateful. I'm sure she will know that the Book of Common Prayer says that one of the 3 reasons in Christian conscience why marriage is ordained is for the mutual society, help and comfort that one ought to have of the other, both in prosperity and adversity. Why in Christian conscience should the state ban Christians who want to be able to do that from being able to share that, or for that matter people in ordinary society just because of their gender?
Well, it's very ironic that whilst the government says it wants to promote commitment and equality, this bill will not actually create equal marriage. It will create different types of marriage. Most young people aspire to be married precisely because of the security which the commitment of marriage provides. But adultery with a married person of the same sex will not be a concept applicable to same-sex marriages. What message does that send out? What message does that send out to our young people today about marriage if faithfulness and commitment are no longer at the heart of it? Far from strengthening marriage and commitment in our society, this bill risks seriously weakening it. And is it the case that the government has had to put so many locks into this legislation to protect people precisely because it is concerned that one after another they may fail? Before each daily session of Parliament, prayers are said in this very chamber, most sincerely prayed by many of us, which include the words, may we never lead the nation wrongly. I will vote against this legislation tonight because if it is passed today, I believe that we will surely do so.